Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining me today. Sit back and relax as we go to the ocean. I haven't done a seascape in a long time. What's interesting about this one is you'll see me make some mistakes in the middle of my painting and how to correct them on the fly. That's what I love about this wet on wet oil technique. So for now, sit back and let's get on with this session of relaxation oil painting. Welcome everyone to this new episode of Relaxation Oil Painting. I'm going to do a small oval canvas. I don't know the exact size, but I'll put it up on the screen so you can see it. An oval canvas is kind of an unusual and interesting shape. What you can see is what I did is I put a piece of masking tape here. I think I'm going to do a Seascape today, a small miniature version. So this masking tape will ensure that our horizon line is straight. I covered the top part with the liquid white and I covered the bottom half with liquid clear, which keeps the color more translucent. If I did liquid white down here, it would blend with the colors and change the pigment, so I wanted to remain this liquid clear and this white up here for the sky. We'll take this tape off in a few moments. Let's start with the sky, and I want to use very small brushes today for the most part because this is a very small canvas. So I'm going to start with a little bit of the bright yellow here. Just a little bit on the brush here. I'm just going to create a little bit of a sunset environment here, so just going to add some yellow in the sky. Nice bright color. And then I'm going to go into a little bit of the Indian yellow, which is more of a gold color. So as you can see, it's getting darker as we go farther away. And I'm going to touch the bright red. Red is very strong, so you want to be careful how much you use. Now we're getting into the orange hue. It's a nice gold color. I'm just using a filbert here. And I'm going to get a little more darker red up here. Farther away it gets. Just looking for a base color. I'm intentionally going at this angle. It's more of a sunset, so I want this angle specific. And let's see, if I touch the alizarin crimson, let's put a little more red here. Just touch a little bit of a alizarin crimson and we get darker. And just a touch of blue. That's it. Down here we have some clouds forming. Let's go into a touch more blue. Alizarin crimson. That's nice. And toward the horizon it gets much darker. Over here having some blue clouds come in. Let's go into a touch more crimson, a little more red. That's better. Sky has many colors to it. Now I'm going to take a clean, dry 2-inch brush, very lightly blend this very lightly to the point where the colors are hard to see where the borders are. Just touching this lightly. Once I clean it, I want to get rid of the excess paint. I don't want to go back into that section. Just touching these clouds, blending them in. It's a pretty easy sky to do. Nice soft sunset. There we go. And again, taking a soft brush, just going to blend this together now. Now let's add a sun. Just taking titanium white on my finger. Before I do that, I'm going to add just a touch more white. So I'm just using titanium white. And I'm going to scrape in a little bit more white here. I want this to be quite bright. And you can do this as many times as you need to. Just making that a little bit brighter. And now I add the sun. Who thought we'd be doing finger painting at my age? Just drawing in a little circle. And very, very gently gonna hypnotize that. Touching it very lightly. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that sun on the camera? I hope so. It's there. So you have a little bit of a sun. And if you want to, you can go back over it with more white and make it even brighter. See? And that easy, you have a little sun. Now I'm going to spend a little bit of time highlighting. I'm using a yellow ochre, bright yellow, some white, almost a golden color. And let's highlight a little bit of these clouds. Let's use a little more red. It's not bright enough. I'm going to add some white. Put some highlights here. That's better. Just where the sun would hit. Over here a little bit. That's nice. Maybe a little here, a little cloud. And I'm just blending this lightly. The more you touch the paint, the duller it will get. So you want to be careful. How much you go over it. See? Don't kill all the dark. And you can bring a cloud or two across. Just by dragging that gives the illusion of very far, far, far away clouds. You could spend hours on this stuff if you wanted. It's your world, you can create whatever you want. This is such a relaxing thing to do. It's so good for your blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure. I'm lucky I don't have that. A lot of my students say, Mr. Norcross, how do you stay so calm all the time? Well, I paint. It's one of the things I do. I meditate. I practice martial arts. Things that I know are good for you. Life's too short to get stressed. Look at that. So you can spend a lot of time. See, now I don't like this purplish cloud over here, so watch how easy we can change this. Just by adding a little different color. I'm going to have kind of a lavender sea today. But I want to spend some time on this sky because this is such a small painting. That's nice. And again, your world, you can make a plain blue sky if you want. What you should try to have in mind is what time of day is it, maybe what season it is. And that will dictate what colors you use, what color palette. Other than that, it's completely up to you. That's it. Now I'm very lightly going to go over this once again just to soften it slightly. I'm barely touching the canvas. Just like two hairs here. Because I want the sky to be soft. There. See, so you have a nice little sunset scene beginning here. Clean this brush. I'm using odorless paint thinner. So if you're going to start to paint, you're going to need a lot of that. Sometimes you can buy it online, or you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's. They might carry it there. You'll need it by the gallon. Now, if I show you my palette here, I have just a few colors. I have the bright yellow, what they call Indian yellow or yellow ochre, bright red, it's a phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, a little bit of like burnt sienna or burnt umber, a light brown. I have the Van Dyke brown here, black and white. You always want the black and white, and you always want quite a bit of white. White's probably the color we use the most. Now watch this. This is pretty cool. I just pull this tape off very carefully. Let me put this down. Slowly pull this. And now you can see I have a nice straight horizon. Little painter's trick. I have my light here, so again you can pick this up on Amazon. It's just a little light. The lights from the ceiling are can lights, and they tend to give a kind of an ugly shadow, so I bought this little light here that I can adjust and move it where I need to. You want quite a bit of light when you're working with the canvas. Now, as I said before, the bottom is covered with liquid clear, so I'm just going to take a little touch more of the liquid clear and bring it up, because the tape was covering, so I couldn't put the clear here. And this is just a medium of like oil, which allows the paint to mix on the canvas. But this does not have white in it, it's just clear. I don't want to dilute the colors. I want the ocean quite dark here. There. Easy. Now, let's see what's next. Let's take a knife. I'm going to paint kind of a dark lavender color. So let's use the blue, alizarin crimson. Mix this together. Should create kind of a violet color. Now I can't see what color that is. If I just take a touch of white, you can see how blue that is. I want a bit more crimson. I'm not going to need a lot of this today. It's pretty nice there. So we have that blue color. So let's take some of this. I'm going to put my palette down for a minute. Grabbing a filbert brush. Normally I'd use a 2-inch, but I want to keep this small. Just grabbing this dark color here. And let's add in this dark color in the back. So I'm just sketching in this ocean color. keeping the horizon line straight. Boom. Isn't that cool? Now I'm going to put a wave in here, so I want to decide where this wave is going to go. I'm actually going to sketch using the tip of this brush. I'm going to have a wave coming up, probably to here and down. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to have this wave coming down, crashing here. Actually, I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this a little bit farther back. That wave's a bit too high, so I'll show you. I'm going to continue this ocean color. Let's have the wave more here. That's better. I'll show you what I mean. I want to push that back. That's better. I want to leave this area uncolored here because I'm going to put the light coming through the wave. So the sun is shining, and because this wave is higher, the light's going to be translucent through the water. So I'll show you how to do that in a minute. For now though, I want to quickly sketch in a beach. So for that, I'm going to use some brown colors. Let me finish sketching this here. I'm going to put a touch, just a very small touch of yellow, which will make more of a phthalo green. The ocean has quite a bit of green color in it. That's nice. So down here, I'm changing the color. And then I'm going to go back to the blue. A little bit of that here. Blending this all together. Now I'm going to add in my beach. Let's put that here. Using a lot of filbert brush today. Darker Van Dyke brown at the bottom here. Little yellow ochre. That's a nice color. Kind of complements the sunset. Now, taking a paper towel, I'm going to take most of this paint off. I don't want a lot of paint here. And I'm going to blend this together with the beach where they overlap. Let's make some more darkness down here. Don't always want to use the same color because the beach isn't the same color, so I'm using some darker brown here at the bottom. Now let's make the eye. This is a cool thing. I'm going to take a very small filbert brush and I'm going to use yellow and white and I'll show you how I do this. I'm going to scrape in this color. Using paper towel, I'm going to take that color off as much as I can. Don't want a lot of paint there. Now I'm going to wash a brush. Use a lot of paper towel when you're painting. Now I'm just using the corner of a 2-inch brush here to soften this. And I want to start to blend it with this blue, which will make a nice light bluish green underneath. Let's take a touch more of that and drag it here. Blend it out. Make sure the brush is dry. I want that very soft. Nice. Start to think about the shape of the wave here. Now I need to put a dark color on the top in order to separate that and make the foam. So up here, this will create the foam. Let's put a little bit, it's crashing up. Maybe we'll put a rock maybe here. It's crashing up here. Now let's make a decision to add a little bit of detail into the background. So I'm going to start by using Let's see. I'm going to use a liner brush with some white. And I'm going to start to add some detail into the back. Actually, I'm going to use a small filbert. Give me one moment while I wash this. So how is everybody today? You guys relaxing? I'm painting this on a Sunday. Sunday's a good day to paint. No work today. What are you up to? Laying down on a bed somewhere? Or are you sitting in a chair? Maybe watching me on a phone? Relaxing on your couch? It's a good day for that. Let's start to add a couple waves here. Changing the background. See? I'm just putting very far, far away waves. This detail is nice. Just a little bit. Of waves far, far away. Maybe the wind has picked up because this is getting to be sunset, so the wind is picking up. Closer we get, the waves get a bit bigger. Just by adding white on the top, I change the value. Look at that. Now I'm going to clean the brush. And I'm just going to use straight white. Just touch, see where the sun is here. Just gonna touch where more highlight would be underneath that sun. See? Just a little bit. That's nice. Then you can go back in and add more dark. So I can add black. And watch this. Now I can put in more dark over the light. See? And that kind of separates the waves, blends them together nicely. Don't kill all the dark spaces. The edges tend to be darker than the middle. nice. I'd love to see a big great white shark fin. Wouldn't that be cool? I grew up in Massachusetts, and my grandmother had a cottage in Wareham, Mass, which is fairly close to the ocean. So I spent many summers at the beach. Of course, back then we weren't very smart. We didn't have much sun protection. So we would get burnt to a crisp. And I remember, of course, I was just a child when the movie Jaws came out. But everyone was so afraid to go in the water because of the shark scare. And to this day, I love stories about great white sharks. My parents live in East Wareham, which is near Bourne, near the big canal and the Bourne Bridge and the train bridge, and they have a lot of great whites there because the seal population has grown so much. And where there are seals, there are going to be great whites. So I see on the news when there's a great white in Cape Cod a lot. Matter of fact, sadly, someone was killed by a shark this summer. First time in who knows how many years that a person died from a shark attack on Cape Cod. You wouldn't catch me swimming. I have a very healthy fear of the ocean. As I think most people do. I think it'd be really cool to swim in a cage with white sharks. What do you guys think? Now that would be so scary and exhilarating at the same time. So now let's take a filbert. Actually, let's take a small fan brush. And let's start to add a little bit. I'm going to take some liquid white, which thins the paint. Let's pick up my easel. Let's get some white here. I want to make this foam. So from here, I'm going to start to carry this over, following the shape of the wave here. And then this is where it hits down here, splashes. Yeah, we'll have to put a rock there. See that? That's pretty cool. So you can see the waves swelling up, carrying over a little bit. And then you have to have dark at the bottom. So I'm going to grab a filbert, go back here and add dark under this foam. And I really want to emphasize some dark here. It would not all be white, you know, it would be crashing down. Here. See? You have to have dark with the light. While I'm here, I'm going to add some more blue underneath. I want really dark here. And then I'm blending this up. See? Blending this up from the beach. So you have to play with the darks and the lights here. When you blend it together, it looks pretty cool. Now, this is fun. I'm going to use a liner brush. And I'm going to go into some paint thinner. Go into the dark color. I want this to be like ink. And watch how I highlight under here. I really want this to be a nice hard line. Adding in these little lines. Which you would see using liquid white. I'll soften these. Sorry, I'm quiet. I'm concentrating here. There, that's better. Now, let's clean this brush. Go into some more of the titanium white. Start to add in some waves down here. Just making crisscross strokes. I want this to be brighter here. Now I'm going to add a stone using brown. Some black. Maybe there's a bit of a cliff here, a couple stones. Pushes that wave back. Take a little of the brown and white, just highlight a bit up here. Where the sun would be hitting. I have to go back to that wave. I need to fix something. This is the beauty of this. If you see something you don't like, go back and fix it. I want to make sure that this is a distinct dark line, because there would be a heavy shadow there. I don't want to lose that shadow. There, that's better. You need that darkness there. Nice. See, I love this technique. Now let's take a filbert and straight titanium white. Let me wash my brush. dry it. Just pure magic white. Let's cut in the water line here. And see, if you want to go back, like watch this. This is again, this technique. Check it out. I don't like this, right? So you go like this. And you go back. And you get a brush. And you go into some of the yellow ochre here. And you recreate the beach that you formerly took out. Isn't that easy? And maybe you say, well, I don't like that there either. Well, then you make the wave come back. And you can do anything you want. This is your world. See? I didn't like that rock when I put it in. So I just got rid of it. Believe me, I'm my harshest critic. That's what I love about this style. I'm just trying to find the right brush here. Okay, let's do this. Take some more white and add detail. Now we get into the detail. Constantly cleaning the brush. Maybe there's a bit of a tide pool here. See? Even another here. Looking good. Even more white caps out there. Again, it's a stormy evening. Should say windy. The stormier you want to make it, you can. Just touching these little details, especially where the sun would hit. I'm going back to that heavy line again. That's the key. I keep messing up that heavy line. You've got to have that to separate it. See, when I add that dark in, it really brings it out again. That's better. That wave was too heavy there. Now I know I'm going over this a lot. I realize that but I consider this practice. I'm not a very good artist. I just have fun with this. So what I love about oil, unlike acrylic, is you can go over it again and again and again if you're not satisfied with something. Again and again and again. I'm just using these colors to get the effect I'm looking for. Hopefully I'm not boring you with this. That's better. I like that line. See? See, that looks better to me. Now we could leave that the way it is. What do you guys think? Leave it? That light in the dark there. Just a little bit of that line. See? Carry that down. Nice. So we can see how we have the wave going. I like that little bit of translucency in the wave. Now we could just leave it there. We could put something in. Tell you what I'd like to do is I think I would like to put a little bit of land on the left. A little peninsula coming here. Because I want to. So I'm going to use a liner brush. Clean and dry. And I'm going to go into Van Dyke brown, black, little burnt umber, so we can create a little bit of land up there. Still too thick. Okay, let's see what we can do up here. A little bit of land, so I want this very far away. Actually, I'm going to use a filbert. One moment, I have to clean this brush. I want to take this landmass into the ocean to kind of tie in the corner. I don't like that corner. Filbert's a softer brush, easier to work with. Yeah, that's better. Yes, yes, yes. Good decision. A little bit higher. Yeah. While I'm at it, make a shadow. Maybe some stones here. See? Can you see it? Can you see it? Nice. I'm just adding a couple of details here at the bottom. And then let's put a small highlight on those mountains. Small highlight here. Just enough that the human eye can pick up. See? Now take this. Let's make this a bit darker on the bottom. Let's take a knife with a little bit of white. Scraping a water line. See, using your knife you can scrape in waves as well. Don't always limit yourself to the brush. Knife can have some nice effects here. This needs to be a bit darker, so let's go back. This needs to be a bit darker here on that side of the mountain. That's better. It was a little bit too light. And I don't know if the camera can pick up on that, but I can. Nice. Now I'm going to put one on the other side. Make this kind of a little cove. Dark against the light looks good. Where's my filbert? Keep misplacing brushes. See? Can create entire landscapes just by putting a little detailed mountain in. Nice. Just putting some last touches here. Good, I like that better, much better. Very simple landscape. Not hard at all to do. So are landscapes harder than seascapes, or are seascapes harder? I don't know the answer. Again, I'm no Bob Ross, never claimed to be. There's another artist who is really good, who I discovered on YouTube. His name is Kevin Hill, and he's from California. Boy, is he good at this method. He's only in his mid-20s, but he is such a fine artist. He took the wet on wet style and he has so evolved it. So I would highly suggest that you find the artist Kevin Hill, I think is his name, and look up his paintings. He is brilliant. He makes me look like a kindergartner compared to what he does. I can't wait to see how good he becomes in his 40s and 50s and 60s. Because already he's amazing. Self-taught. And I think he learned from watching Bob Ross, William Alexander, etc. And he has his own line of products out now. He has DVDs, and his style is much more, again, much more of a fine art style than mine. I'm just a clunker, a part-time, you know, nobody artist who does this for fun on an occasional Sunday afternoon, just so you guys have a little bit of free entertainment. But Kevin Hill, boy, he's another. I looked up, I'd love to own one of his paintings, but they're really expensive. Several thousand. Yet they might be a good investment, because I have a feeling this kid's he might be the next Bob Ross, and I don't say that lightly. He has a very soft voice. And I love watching his stuff on YouTube, although I don't like how they condense it. He has to condense it though, because he might take a few hours to do a painting. But he does still lifes, landscapes, seascapes. Matter of fact, he was just in Massachusetts doing something near Boston Harbor. But if you want to see someone who takes this to the next level, find Kevin Hill. So this was a really fast Seascape. I like the colors, you know, and this is the first Seascape that I've done in many years, so I'm completely out of practice. That's why I messed up a couple times. I had to go back and fix it, because I'm not editing this, it's live. Well, not live when you see it, but I'm painting it live. And I don't want to go back and have to change everything. So what you see is what you get. But I'm glad that you could see me screwing up and how to fix it. Because again, this technique is built for that. So don't ever get frustrated if something's messed up. And again, with oil paint, I could let that completely dry, or I could go over it with wet paper towel and paint thinner, and I could completely erase the canvas and start fresh tomorrow. Acrylics, you can't do that, I don't think. Once they dry, you're kind of stuck with what you have. And this method is really user-friendly. Of course, anything you try is way harder than it looks. I'm always saying that about the martial art videos that we produce. You have critics that say, oh, that looks easy, or you should move here, or you shouldn't do that. And then when you get them on the floor, on the mat, they have no clue what they're doing. And it's very easy to be what I call an armchair critic. A person who doesn't do but just watches, because anyone can sit there and criticize others when they don't have any talent themselves. And usually the people, I think you'll agree, that criticize other people are the ones that need a little bit of compassion, because there's something going on inside them that they feel the need to tear others down. Definitely an insecurity. You know, someone who's confident and secure doesn't need to tear down someone else's work. As a matter of fact, they do the opposite, and they inspire other people, and they want you to share in the success of others. I think that very insecure people are the first to get on their keyboard and type in negative comments, or to hit the dislike button, or whatever they do with their limited power. And of course, most people sadly make fun of other people under a pseudonym, so they're not even gutsy enough to use their real name, afraid of repercussions. So with the way that technology is nowadays, people can hide very easily. I like to pull people up rather than push them down because, again, as I said at the beginning, life is too short. And why not prop people up while we're here on this earth? I'm just going to take a second. I'm going to scrape that a little bit. That's it. I wanted that a little bit lighter. There. Okay. So we had a very simple, small landscape for you guys. Made several mistakes, but I'm glad we could cover them up. This episode is pretty much done. I had fun on this Sunday afternoon. Thank you so much for sharing it with me as I clean my brushes here and make a mess. I really appreciate everyone watching. It's a hobby I've always loved since I was a child, and I love being able to get out these brushes once or twice a month and create something. Now, what are you going to do with the rest of your day? Are you going to go online and order some paint so you can create your own? That would be good. Are you going to ask for some paints for Christmas or for your birthday or whatever holiday you might celebrate? Are you going to treat yourself and go to the art store and just go to the art store and buy some supplies? I think that's wonderful. See, I'm always changing things. Sometimes you have to know when to leave it alone. There, that's better. Okay, let's let this go. That's an artist for you. We're never satisfied with what we've created, and that's what keeps us going. We strive for the perfect painting, and it's never there. It's always slightly out of reach. I think anyone that writes or creates or does anything like this knows that exact feeling, and that's what inspires us to keep going. We're never going to reach it. Okay, you guys, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I wish you all the joy in the world, and I wish you the most of luck, and I hope that you can paint or do something that you love to do. Make this day the best you can. Or, hey, go take a nap and relax. Until next time, we'll see you soon. This is Todd Norcross. Thanks for watching Relaxation Oil Painting. Bye-bye.